hit that subscribe button and the bell icon beside it to check out our latest videos before anyone else. What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech and this is the camera comparison between Redmi Note 5 and Mi A1. On the rear, Redmi Note 5 sports a 12 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture followed by dual LED flash. On the front, it sports a 5 megapixel camera along with a dedicated soft flash. On the rear, Mi A1 sports a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel wide-angle camera with f2.2 aperture followed by a 12 megapixel camera with f2.6 aperture with telephoto lens. That's followed by a dual tone flash. On the front, it sports a 5 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. These are the sample pictures. Both phones lack auto HDR, so all these pictures were taken with HDR turned off. Focusing speeds and capturing speeds are equally good on both phones. On Mi A1, sometimes colors are to the warmer side, and the difference in color reproduction sticks out a lot. On Note 5, colors are slightly warmer, but not as much as Mi A1. Both the phones overexpose the shot. Once again, Mi A1 does it slightly more. Dynamic range is slightly better on Note 5, but the difference is almost negligible. For the most part, rear cameras on both phones perform equally good. Note 5 takes the lead with better color balance, slightly better exposure control and dynamic range. Now these are some pictures taken with HDR turned on both phones. Except for a slight variation in color reproduction, both phones do an equally good job in HDR mode. Images from A1 are slightly more brighter and more sharper. Once again, difference isn't huge, but A1 performs better. These are some macro shots. Both the phones do an equally good job with focusing speeds, capturing speeds, and background bokeh effect. Using the dual camera setup, Mi A1 offers us portrait mode that blurs the background of a subject and makes it look really good. These are some sample shots. Now coming to selfies, both phones come with a 5 megapixel front-facing camera with equally wide-angle lens. Selfies from A1 look more soft and have warm colors. Selfies from Note 5 comparatively look more sharp and have better exposure control. Dynamic range and color reproduction are slightly better on Note 5. There are times when selfies from A1 look better, but images are very soft, so for better selfies, Note 5 is the winner. These are some selfies taken in low light conditions. Note 5 comes with a dedicated selfie flash, so that helps a little in very low light conditions. Both phones produce soft selfies, but because of the flash, comparatively, selfies on Note 5 are more sharper with better color reproduction. In good lighting conditions, you get better selfies on Note 5, and if you have stable hands, you can take sharper selfies too. Now coming to low light performance, here are the sample shots. Images from A1 look brighter with more visible noise, and images from Note 5 look dark with less noise. Color reproduction is good on both phones. Once again, in low light, there isn't a huge difference between both phones, just a slight variation in color reproduction. Now coming to video recording, here's the sample footage from the rear cameras. Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech and this is the camera comparison between the Redmi Note 5 and the Mi A1. On the left side I have the Redmi Note 5 and on the right side I have the Mi A1, and the audio is from the phone themselves, so you can check out the audio for noise cancellation from both the phones. By the way guys, I'll be doing comparison with many other phones in the same price segment, so you can check them out. Link will be in the description. Both the phones can record video in 4K, but there is no optical image stabilization or electronic image stabilization, so the footage is shaky. Now coming to the footage quality, for some reason, footage looked better on Mi A1. Colors on Note 5 look very warm. Now coming to the front camera video recording, color reproduction was slightly better on A1, but A1 did slightly better job with exposure shift and Note 5 did a better job with skin tones at some places. So it's a tie. So guys, to conclude, for regular pictures and regular selfies, there isn't a huge difference between both the phones. To be precise, Note 5 does a better job, but the difference is negligible. If you are actually going to consider Mi A1 and the Redmi Note 5, it is better to go with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. If Redmi Note 5 Pro is out of the question, then out of these two phones, I'll suggest you to go with Mi A1 if cameras are your topmost priority. If portrait mode isn't all that interesting for you, definitely go with the Redmi Note 5 as it offers the new display and a bigger battery. So guys, looking at the sample pictures and the sample footage, what's your take on the camera comparison? Which phone do you think did better? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy either of these phones, use the link in the description, it really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.